The interior is about a young man who is disaffected. He lives and works in downtown Toronto, hates his job, lives life very ironically, and then he discovers that he is ill. He is diagnosed with something, and he drops it all and goes into the woods. My name is TREVOR Juras. I'm the writer-director of The Interior, and this is my first time at Fantasia, and it's my feature film debut. I drew from my own life. I worked a job that I didn't like for quite some time, and as I got older, I developed this love of nature, and spending time out in nature is this very kind of overwhelming spiritual experience, and really contrasted with the life that I've been living in the city throughout all of my 20s. And so I wanted to make a film that kind of expressed some of my anxieties about life and aging and the frailty of our body and the frailty of our minds. I wrote the part for the lead actor, and he's just really great at emoting without saying anything. Because he's alone in the woods, there's no dialogue. He talks to himself a little bit. But it relies on him to let the viewer know what he's thinking and feeling, but it's a fine line, because if it's too over the top, it's not believable or it's kind of cheesy, and yeah, he was able to do that. Patrick McFadden is the lead, and he's got this kind of silent movie actor quality to him. There was not a lot of improvisation, but I do trust Patrick to improv, and because we often didn't see the location before we shot, there was a lot of showing up on the day, thinking we're going to do it one way, and then figuring out we have to do it another way. So I'd always have to work with him and with the DP in order to make the scene work. So he had a lot of freedom of movement, especially. But in terms of what he had to do or what he had to say, I was pretty strict with that. But I allowed him the freedom to use his body in any way he thought worked. We used a really flexible camera, and it allowed us to shoot in the woods all day long on just a couple batteries and on just a few memory cards. And when you're out, we shot in British Columbia on an island called Salt Spring Island. And out in Salt Spring, there is just a lot of natural beauty, a lot of untouched forests. And there were some accommodations close by, so we had to drive about 15 minutes every day to get to the locations that we were interested in. So surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. We planned it out really well, and we picked a really good spot for it. There's not a lot of music. There are certain moments where are punctuated by music, but generally we just wanted to let the forest speak for itself. The DP, Othello Ubaldi, he approached it by making the forest a character itself. Also at nighttime, we didn't light the scene. The character had flashlights, and that was the only lighting we had. So it just, the atmosphere just created itself.